need to bring my electronic drums here. Ow, man, what is happening? Dial-up modem. I should do that sound. Beep, beep, beep. I remember those dial-up modems well. And all the mail that would come back when spam was in your mailbox, and you'd have a stack of AOL America Online. Here's your 20 floppy disks. We'll give you 100 hours of free internet if you sign up. And that sound. I haven't been on for quite a while, and I have a lot to talk about. And as usual, I don't give any notice. I decided to do this because we're in the middle of a nor'easter, and I have no idea when I'll do this again. So today we're going to look at the milestone auction towards the end of the live stream. Of course, I always have a few non-collecting bits to get to. Really? Wall art fish. You probably could make a lot of cool stuff. Well, really, you could repurpose anything. You wouldn't believe the stuff I pick up at the beach. Driftwood shells. There's a woman that we know. She takes shells, she paints gold edges around them, and tells everyone how great they are. Sells them for a bunch of money. But I know people that actually get shells, big shells. They find them. So the medium is free, and they paint really, cool beach scenes in the shells or outside the shells. But they're very attractive, and they get good money for them. That's what I have to do. I have to find an artist that I can give a bunch of the shells I could pick up at the beach and paint like spacey robot scenes. That would be really cool. Then I could sell them here at the Collection Live. Buy your space robot shell. Maybe the outer shell with the ridges can be the stars and all that crap. Just some dark blue or black with the stars. And on the inside, you'd have your space scene. That might work. I better dim my phone too. Alright, I'm getting text messages that Taylor Swift is concerned about climate change, and her private plane emits more carbon than, most 100 people will emit in a year, her one trip. That doesn't surprise me. The hypocrisy. Anyway, so welcome whoever is live now and whoever will see this later. And look at this. Why doesn't this phone... I got to tell you. Whoa, I disappeared off the planet. Hold on, I got to come back. Damn. Everything got minimized. I honestly, I've given this Samsung... I have two phones. I've given the Samsung a pretty good run, but... I don't know, man. I just have not warmed up to the Samsung for whatever reason. There. This shirt's meant to be buttoned up top, and I said, I look like a priest, man, with this thing. Is like, I need a black collar, so maybe I'll just keep this buttoned. I don't know, man. So anyway, what's happening? I wish I would have had time to prepare a little bit better, and I still don't like this. I shouldn't have worn anything underneath, but whatever. I'm buttoning this. Father Ozzy. Father Ozzy conducting mass. Where my Gregorian chant in the background. Anyway. Well, I don't have problems with the Samsung from a hardware point of view. I just don't think it's as intuitive to use as the Crapple product. As much as I don't like Crapple as a company, I still find their phone ridiculously intuitive to use. Now, the Samsung does have some cool apps for video editing. I haven't really tried to look for them on the Apple, so maybe I could find the same apps. But, the Samsung, it's just weird. You even have to yeah, I guess adjust the settings just to answer it. I don't know. It's just I haven't warmed up to it. Al Schlesinger. Yeah, hot candle girl. What the hell is that? Al, what is a hot calendar? And what's up, brother Al? Al S. Al, I hope you're gonna grab. I'm gonna go over the milestone auction later. I hope you get the loose Bear Magician, man. It is cheap right now. Cheap, cheap, cheap. $450, I think. That's a steal. That is a steal of a deal. Anyway, so one of the things I noticed, and I always talk about a few. I'm going to try to not keep it like non-political because, why get political if I don't have to? But, if anyone watches some of the popular YouTubers, like Timcast or Quartering, whatever, do you notice how many of these guys sell coffee now? I mean, a lot of them. A lot. And I'm just wondering, it's becoming like the Amway. Are you guys familiar with Amway? Remember back in the day they used to try, I mean, hell, I was in high school still and people were like coming up to me, would you like to sell Amway? What they called, as you get older, multi-level marketing. So the few rich people at the top of the pyramid, or the successful people, they come up with these products, and then it trickles down into these layers. And eventually on the bottom are all the peons going around like hawking this product. And it doesn't have to be Amway. It could be there were cosmetics too. I'm trying to think the cosmetic company that did this also. There's a bunch of different products. And anyway, now it's like coffee has taken over. Every freaking big YouTuber has their own branded coffee. So I'm thinking what's driving this, though, is that there's this huge coffee distributor up top of the pyramid, and he's looking down at, the YouTube guys, and maybe gals too, maybe like the Tim Pool or the Quartering, whatever. And they're like, hey, look, you can make a bunch of money like hawking this coffee. And, they're doing it. And I don't know how well they're doing, but I guarantee you one thing. Whoever is pushing it from the top is really making some serious coin on this. I have no idea how good the coffee is. And, you feel like it's your own little sub-business, I suppose. I don't know, maybe I should sell robot coffee. What do you think, robot coffee? Here's my oil brand of my oil-flavored coffee. This tastes like recycled motor oil. I actually have this Keurig at home, and somebody bought this Green Mountain coffee. Oh, my God, it tasted like sewer water, this particular flavor. I gave it to my son. He's like, I like it. Oh, good, you could have it. God, I hated it. It was nasty. But anyway, we have to get to the bottom of the coffee mystery. Who's pushing everyone to sell coffee? I'm not going to sell... I'm not going to sell coffee on this channel. Maybe beer. I did want to make robot beer, and then I want the cans to interlock. Well, even if you stack them, they stack and make a robot. And even a rocket ship. That would be cool. I should find a local brewery to make my robot beer, and but then I need a canning company that could do these limited edition cans. That would be cool. You get a 12-pack and they all interlock. Almost like the Legos of beer, of cans even. Anyway, so that's it on coffee, and we're going to have to put on our detective hats and find out who the hell's making all the coffee that these YouTubers and probably other people are selling too. They probably sell it on the Daily Wire and all these other places. And speaking of selling stuff, now, I don't know if you've heard, people are upset at... the French presses. People are upset at Target for selling, these funky clothes. We'll leave it at that. And it got me thinking. And, I don't know how old some of you, fire up the Hadron Collider. And this is kind of lends itself to this. When I was growing up, we still had in our communities, in our little towns, in our cities, we had locally owned businesses, right? And you could still go buy things like, guess what? Clothes. clothes at your locally owned store. And there were people that would sell you clothes for men and for women. And you didn't have to depend on like this large multi-billion-dollar globalist international ESG scoring crappy company. You can count on, Jack's Retailer. We actually have a regional chain here that I go to. John Craig sells a lot of high-end stuff. And well, yeah, it is high-end. I'm not gonna quibble about it. It's high-end. And still, like, I think if it's locally owned and sort of locally sourced to the extent that you can, you could rest assured that they're not going to sell something that's polarizing, that pisses people off, much the way like Bud Light did and these other ESG focused companies are doing. Now, I hear a lot of things about, well, BlackRock this, State Street that, Vanguard, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I just want to clarify, as somebody that, now I'm actually out of the market, but somebody had a substantial amount in the market, and I probably will at some point again. But, these fund managers, okay, you individuals out there working and investing in your 401ks and stuff, that adds up into billions and billions of dollars. And then the companies, say you work for, I don't know, IBM, right? IBM says, okay, we have like 100,000 employees. They have 10 billion in 401k money. So we need somebody to manage this. And they'll go to a Fidelity or whatever, and they'll say to Fidelity, okay, manage this for our investors, our pensioners, whatever the hell. And so whoever is on that team will be able to direct how that money is invested. Damn, I did it again. Hold on. So now, yeah, they do make a lot of money. But anyway, the point is that those managers that's where the money gets invested, to the companies like a Target, Walmart, Disney. So I suppose that, those, like CEOs of that company could tell the fund managers, look, if these companies don't have this ESG focus, then don't buy their stock. But that's almost like unreasonable and to a degree a little far-fetched. They are doing it, but keep this in mind. You can't do that to the extent that you're going to lose money for your investors. And you look at Disney, whose stock is almost sliced in half. They're my favorite whipping boy. At some point, you have to rationalize this. You can't rationalize this crap and tell people, well, their ESG score is high, so therefore, and we're going to still keep investing in it, or Target, or InBev, Anheuser-Busch, because you can invest in these foreign companies. What is it? The ADR, something like a deposit. Certificates, whatever I forgot what they call for the foreign investments, but you can invest in all these companies. I think it's ADRs. So it's not a sustainable model, is what I'm saying. And so even if these companies appear to have this kind of tremendous power, in practical sense, they don't. They can't sustain it, because eventually people are going to get pissed and say, you're not managing my money because you're a buffoon, you're an imbecile, you're an idiot, and you're losing me way too much money. Just like the people that finance the movies. You think the people that finance like the first Star Wars that made $2 billion, and then down through Solo that lost money, and then the final, The Rise of Skywalker, that made 50% less on inflated tickets, and same with Marvel. Look at how much less these movies are making. Those investors are going to be like, yeah, that's not like as blue chip as it used to be. So there's repercussions for this crap. And anyway, but what I was getting at is brassieres. Yeah, right. But my point was that growing up, I kind of miss, and I don't know if we could ever get this back, I miss having like locally owned small businesses, in the community, because they have to be a lot more accountable. You don't have that anymore. Hell, we used to have a store that would just sell well, I mean, they sold clothes, but they also, like, for instance, they would sell the local uniforms for the Catholic schools. And there was a couple of Catholic schools. So they'd actually have the patches on it, depending on the name, whether it was like St. Gabriel's or Blessed Sacrament. I mean, and it was interwoven in the community. You don't get that crap at frickin' Target or Walmart. I mean, you go to like a locally owned Ace store. Well, thank you, Al. I appreciate that, Al Schlesinger. When you go to like a locally owned Ace, they bend over backwards. When we were on Long Island, in fact, and Al, you remember this, in Long Island, the locally owned Ace, they were freaking nice as pie. Like the owners of that Ace, their kids went to the same school as our kids. We knew the families. We saw them at meetings. It's just a different vibe. Go into Target today. You see those, some of the, I laugh. I have a friend of mine. He says, when I go into Target or Walmart, but mainly Target, actually, he said it looks like they closed the circus, and all the employees that used to work at the circus, the freak shows of the circus, went to work for Target. And sometimes you get that. And they really don't care how they treat you. And so it would be nice if we can get back to some locally owned businesses, even with food, too. You don't have to depend on these ginormous companies that clearly don't give a crap about, your sensibilities. But we'll see. We will see. Now, anyway, on to another big company that actually seems to be outperforming YouTube. And for those, that watch Sticks, I don't know if somebody is on here that's going to see Sticks or watches Sticks. And I've told this to him, and I'll say it to others. And Al, you're on my... you're Al Schlesinger. You're on my Facebook, so you know this. Facebook has convinced me to do Reels, and YouTube for years encouraged me to do Shorts. Now, I don't know what the hell is up YouTube's rear, but I go from a short, the last one that it made almost 2,000 views, which for me is decent. Not great, but decent. Then all of a sudden, the next two shorts in a row, one has 32 views, the other one has 31. How the hell is that even remotely possible with over 4,000 subscribers? You're telling me that somehow they ended up with the same number? I think that's such bogus BS, horseshit. It's almost inconceivable to me. And two completely different shorts. So now I said, maybe a month ago, I said, I'm going to do the Reels. Sometimes they're the exact same video. So for instance, the CUDA one that I did, it's the first short now, out of the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 that picked up any traction on YouTube. Now, I look at some videos of a CUDA. Now, that is my car. It's a freaking show car, rotisserie restoration. The car is stunning, and I'm looking at some of the Barracuda shorts that get 100,000 views, and they're just some rusted pile of crap V6. And I'm not dissing the cars because I like all cars, but I'm being realistic. Cars that nobody would buy, nobody in their right mind, just complete projects. And you're telling me that a car that's just a freaking show car managed to only get 500 views. Now, I put this as a Facebook reel, and it's at 4,000 views already. I don't have any subscribers on freaking Facebook. And on Instagram, I never used. As a matter of fact, I would tell you that I'm still barely, familiar with how to use Instagram. I got maybe 85 followers. I follow like 8 people. I never used Instagram. But when I do the reels, they say, would you like to post it on Instagram? And I'm like, all right, post it on Instagram. And it posts to the general public. And that's what Facebook allows me to do that also. They just say, do you want to post it publicly? Whereas like, my personal other Facebook is sort of private. But anyway, with 0 subscribers, I get thousands and thousands of views on Reels. And YouTube somehow manages to just freaking squash everything with their algorithms, And I said to people like Sticks, man, if you're starting to do shorts, do them on freaking Facebook. Now, I don't know if the political content's going to be, suppressed on Facebook, but it may not, because I think Facebook, they're all desperate to get the TikTok audience is what it boils down to. So apparently YouTube feels like, well, we got enough. Because I feel like, you know what, if you're going to suppress my shorts, I won't make them. What the hell for? Why? 30 views? Are you freaking kidding me? That's a joke. Like, why waste my time? It's not even worth, like a bother. It's not worth a bother. Anyway, let me look at some of the comments. Legendary Scrub, how are you? You got an extension to block shorts. Well, I don't have to worry about you seeing mine. And yeah, the car videos are popular. And actually, if you see Tavares, who bought that freaking flooded, what was it, the McLaren P1, $2 million car. I think he bought it for like $600,000. He's been restoring it. I mean, those videos get millions of views, each one. I don't know if he did part 4 yet. It's interesting, though. I like watching it. Because he's actually not too far from me. I think he's in the Orlando area. And Al V, man, you got a crap straight 6. Volvos run forever. Algorithm is, but it's intentional. I don't know if it's with the election. If you ever, breathe the political word, these a-holes will just like, blocked, censored, shadow banned, whatever the hell you call it. So I'll have to figure out how to put a Facebook link for those that want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I never bothered to, but you know what? I get more traction over there. So, and speaking of cars, I got like 2 car stories. I had talked about the Black Ghost. So the famous Black Ghost sold, this is with fees. I think the bidding hit 970,000 big ones. And with the fees, it went for like $1,072,000. There it is right there. Now, if you watched my previous live stream, previously back in the live streams, I talked about the story of the Black Ghost, and it was this former like African American, military guy, airborne ranger, whatever, cool guy like Green Beret, I think, something like that. And then he became a Detroit cop. And the story is that he raced it, and it would come out at night and mysteriously race, beat every other car, and then go back into the shadows, and nobody ever knew who it was, and therefore it was known as the Black Ghost. And it's a cool car because it's got like a very rare gator grain top option. Now, because I have the CUDA, I'm in a couple of really big groups on Facebook. One of them is E-Body Mopars, which the CUDA and Challenger are considered E-bodies. And one of them has like 35,000 members. The other one has about 11,000 members. So combined, they're close to 50,000. So once in a while, I'll post a picture of my car. Recycle some old ones once in a blue moon. And I used to have a 71 446-pack Challenger that was on Tracy Bird's Truth About Men video. I should put it up. That's a great video. You guys should watch it. Watch my yellow Challenger on there. And anyway, and there's a point to this story. I had looked at a ZL1 Corvette that was supposedly, allegedly, one of only 2, or maybe it was the third ZL1, was the all-aluminum 427 big block motor that they, offered in allegedly 2 Corvettes. And I was seriously thinking of buying. I knew it was going to be like $1 million car. And I said, you know what, it's awesome. It was like yellow convertible, automatic, which I don't mind because, I'm getting too many aches and pains to shift. So, yeah, you could say, well, that's a wiener. And plus my wife could drive an automatic. But as I got into like going to these forums, like, diehards, basically I could tell you they debunked the car as legitimate. And I think this was R&M Auctions or something like that. And the reason is the first CL1 had a ton of documentation from the person that actually worked at GM at the Corvette plant, and it had like some build information and paperwork. This other one was like, it looked like it was a car that somebody raced, and after it was built, they stuck a ZL1 motor in it. So it wasn't like factory made. But anyway, it ended up going for over $1 million, and people are like, or maybe more, I can't exactly remember. But most of the, diehard Corvette people felt it was bogus, for lack of a better term. So I'm kind of glad that I dove into it a little bit, because like based on what I read, I was like, oh, I wouldn't have been comfortable owning that, no freaking way, But it was a good story, and they sold it, they marketed it. So on the group, somebody posted this Black Ghost, right? And I start hearing from these Mopar people that were like involved in the race scene back then in the 60s. So essentially, I'll sum this up in a nutshell. They more or less said we were in that scene in the 70s, the early 70s in Detroit, the street racing scene. And we had people that built like street race cars that were running like freaking sevens, like a dragster, 8 sevens. And we never even heard of this car before, ever. As a matter of fact, they said nobody heard of this car. Nobody. Up until like a year ago when they came up with this like story. and all of a sudden, like this car came out of nowhere. So the point being that, was this even actually like a true story? Now, the car is a legitimate, numbers matching Hemi hardtop that was owned by that person. But whether like the history that made it, because then Chrysler itself made a like call it like a kind of a tribute edition Challenger last call tribute to the Black Ghost. So it's been all this like hype marketing, and the point being that this car may not, the car is a legitimate for what it is, but the story may be completely bogus, like a spun yarn, basically. But everyone buys into the hype because essentially this car, it's an unrestored car. From what, people that were there that looked at the car, they said this car like essentially needs a complete restoration. And I know there's people that'll be like, no, leave it alone. Because it's only original once, but there's parts that are like rusting, and you either address the rust or it's going to get worse. I suppose you can do like what they call the sympathetic restoration. I don't know. I like my stuff kind of restored. I mean, I see both sides of it, but think about it. Even if you do like a sympathetic restoration, you still have to basically unbolt everything, take every nut and bolt apart. So what do you do in that scenario? Like you have this, let's say you strip this car down, every nut and bolt. You have it on the rotisserie. What are you going to tell them? Leave it old? So to me, I would just say, well, restore. If you got to go to that length anyway to address like maybe some rust on the unibody and they have to sandblast it, are you going to just say, well, we want it to look old? Well, how the hell do you do that, So I don't know. The point being that without the story, this car might only be 200 or 300, maybe 500 tops. So yeah, it seems like, they hyped the car, and good for them. They got $1 million, and then people are like, why did they sell it? Well, the kids, obviously, you try to insure one of these things. I know with my CUDA, the insurance company said, we want to see a picture of your lift. Then I had to send them a picture of the car on the lift, because I'm on the water, and they're probably thinking, if this guy ever gets flooded and we have to insure this car, at least if it's on the lift, there's less of a chance it'll float away like that McLaren P1 did in Fort Myers when that hurricane hit. And now they have a $2 million claim. Not that my car's anywhere near that. So anyway, that's just the legend of the Black Ghost. So I'm kind of glad I didn't buy that. I probably would have regretted it. These restorations can cost you like $200,000-300,000 on top of the price of the car if you decide to go that route. Now, there was a car there that really appealed to me. Now, I wasn't around, but they had this car was actually the Chrysler car that was in the Rapid Transit advertisement. It was custom made. They had toy models made from this. So it's a legit car that was literally stuck in a barn. This is all custom metal work. It's not fiberglass. And it was used as part of the Plymouth, I think it was Plymouth Rapid Transit. So it's one of their, probably their best show car. And it kind of reminds me of a Barris show car. You know, Barris that did like the Munster coach and the Batmobile. This is just a really cool car. Now, it's all original. You can see here. Again, what do you do? It's like probably the original lacquer paint. It's a 446 pack. And I think it was like the fifth Cuda built in 1970. So it's a super early. It's an original shaker car, original whatever, numbers matching. And it went for freaking $2 million. So double the price of the Ghost. And, custom paint job of the era. So I wonder if you get the toy rights too. I think it's cool as hell. I like these old, like, hot rods, if you will. And I kind of like that front, too, without, hiding the taillights. I think it's a cool design feature. But would I have paid $2 million? Nah. You know why? Because the few times I've driven my Cuda, that thing is like a boat. I mean, you're like, and the brakes, you're like, stepping all the way down. Yeah, look at the wide rubber on this thing. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I dig this color scheme. As a matter of fact, the first year it was painted like with green highlights, and then just to freshen it up for 71, they told them, well, just change the color. So on the rear view mirror here, not the rear, yeah, the mirror here on the outside, you could actually see some flaking, and you could see the lime green underneath, which I think actually looks pretty cool. But most of the documentation is in this cool color here, this color scheme. So that's, to me, if you want an authentic car, this is definitely authentic. It was used in all the promotional materials. It's a historic piece if you're a huge Chrysler fan. So it doesn't surprise me. Once that black Ghost hit $1 million, I could see that this got this kind of money. I mean, if it would have been like, way, way cheaper, I maybe would have considered it. But, I don't really have the room for this stuff. And being on the water, I got to, be concerned with like the salt there and everything rusting apart. But anyway, I think it's a cool look. Cool look for what it is. Although this part here kind of scares me. It looks a little gnarly. Gnarly's, a kind term for it. Anyway, that's the car stories for today. And then I will let you guys know that's watching, whoever's watching, we had the Mint in Box movie that I mentioned before. They came here and filmed, and let me tell you something. Filming is a pain in the ass. It's a lot of work. I think we had like a 10-hour day Friday, a 10-hour day Saturday. And I had the schedule of the shots. And we were scheduled to be done. I'm trying to see if I bought it here. Yeah, actually I did. You won't be able to see it because it's small, but like, here we go. So it's tiny. I can't, I'm trying to get this thing bigger here. Here we go. So this is just kind of showing you. So they send me a schedule of the shots. And, we anticipated in 2 days. But, I'm telling you, it was 20 hours. And then we had to do a half day like Sunday before they left, the day they left. So it's a lot of work, man, for the little bit of footage they get. And they had shit everywhere. I mean, it took me a year to get my dining room table. That was like the last piece of furniture that came when we furnished our house. I go in there one day, and I said, yeah, all right, well, let's see. You said I used to star in, write, produce, distribute internal corporate training. It took a couple weeks. Yeah, oh yeah, I could definitely see that. And this is a movie, a full-length movie, so you could imagine what's involved. But I'm in my dining room table, and I'm like, what the hell, man? You guys got your shit all over my table. You know what this table cost me? It was freaking expensive. And I'm like, huh, what? Get your shit off my table. It took me a year to get this thing. I didn't want it all scratched up. And let me tell you, these film crews are rough. There had to be like, what, I think maybe four to six guys here. I can't even remember. Could you imagine? Well, let's see. At least 4 or 5. And they were very nice, though, but they're rough. They moved one of my coin-out machines to do the shots, and I think the cord got rubbed, the electrical cord that you plug in, and it, like, chewed up some of the rubber. Now, like, some of the metal's almost exposed. I was like, damn, bro. Send you a bill for that. Holy mackerel. So, but we got a lot of good footage, and then they took some highlights of toys, and it was kind of cool because... I did a short that YouTube buries, and you could just... I showed you the short just to show you how long it took. Just to set up the lighting. I'm like, oh, for the love of God, they set up a sheet to bounce the lighting, to make this and that. I'm like, oh, man, this is like so damn involved. I'm like, this is a lot more involved than my damn iPhone with the videos I make. I'm sitting there like, yeah, here's action. All right, cut. That's a wrap. Toy video. It's done. So, but that was a good experience, and hopefully this movie will be, kind of a benchmark for collecting and bring a lot of people into the hobby. That's what they're hoping, and we'll see. Maybe it'll help the museum too. So, Al, I'd like to see. I'd like to see some of your training vids if you ever can post them somewhere. But as far as when the movie's coming out, I think probably early 25 because they still have a lot more people to shoot. I think I'm kind of one of the main guys. Then they have to go to Japan and get Kitahara. And I said to them, if you get Kitahara, because I think me and Kitahara are the bookends of this movie. I said, if you get Kitahara, I want to go there. So they said, all right. They actually want me to come. Kind of like shake hands, hey, nice to meet you. And sort of like the passing of the guard. He's like the old school, and I guess theoretically I'm kind of like the new school. And from the perspective of like opening a museum for the public, nobody else has done that with these types of toys. So I guess it makes sense. So I would do that. And plus I want to meet him, and I want to see his museums. But I can tell you, the people that came here were impressed with the collection. And, hey, you guys, when you watch this stream, whether you're watching it now or eventually you guys got to come down here. And remember, we're having our bot stock, like the Psycho Robot Collectors, I think the 9th through the 11th, somewhere around there. Let me see. My corporate video. Hi, I'm here today to show you the new features coming in release. As my brother who was in tech used to say, C:"enter. That's the new stuff coming out. All right. That's it. Oh, and speaking of tech, that's a good transition line. Thank you, Alvman, because, I made the switch. I talked to my brother who was a techie, and I said, look, I said, all of a sudden on my high-end gaming laptop, I always get these gaming PCs because I figure they have like better processing, more memory, more graphic processing capability, and I don't actually game on them. I just feel they're like technologically beefier, more robust. All of a sudden, though, every time I'm like, yeah, and don't, slam me for this, but I use Chrome. And all of a sudden it started like slogging, man, just going super, super slow. And literally like the fan comes on and it's like, shh. I'm like, what the? Do I have a virus? So I'm like running all my virus scans and all this crap. Nothing at all. And so my brother said, just use Brave. So I made this, I guess you call it. I still have like, the Chrome on there. But I downloaded Brave, not on this PC. This actually, I'm still using Chrome on here because I don't have a problem with it. Because you got to remember, Google saves all, your passwords and that crap. I mean, I save it also on the computer, but whatever. Anyway, long and the short of it is Brave is freaking lightning quick compared to Chrome. I mean, lightning quick. saves all the passwords, saved all the bookmarks. And the only thing I have to ding it on is the search results. Google still has that like kick-ass search engine, but when I say Google, Chrome using the Google. So from that perspective, you can't beat the searching on Chrome. But other than that, Brave just blows it away. Now, another little tidbit, McAfee, for some weird reason, all of a sudden, it has like started defaulting to secure search and uses Yahoo as their search engine. And I'm like, why the hell is Yahoo my search engine all the time? And it's kind of a bitch to go in there and change this stuff. So I did have to go in there and figure out how to change it. And I actually deleted Yahoo as So I don't know what Brave is using. I guess I could put in Google. I didn't do it. I kind of felt like it would defeat the purpose, but I probably will, because then if there's something I don't find, I have to use Google anyway. But as far as McAfee, though, McAfee just defaulted and started, it just actually superseded even Chrome and just injected itself. And I think it does it on Edge too, where they just default and use Yahoo. So I had to go in there and manually get rid of it. And I was like, don't do that shit ever again, man. I'm talking to you, McAfee. That was horse crap, man. I can't stand Yahoo search. But anyway, yeah, they were all very impressed with the collection. Very impressed. Everyone loves the B9 robot, too. When you turn that on, I'm going to have to do a video of that. I did a couple of little teasers, but that is so cool. The Lost in Space robot is just really, really cool. Yeah, and then I think it's the weekend, or like I said, 9th through the 11th, around that time frame. But figure that Saturday in between that time frame, when the robot collectors and space toy collectors will descend. And there's only about 10 of them, I think, right now. But that would be a good time if anyone wants to come. But although it's approaching fast, hell, we're already almost into June. So anyway, rather than go through eBay like I normally do as I wrap up, and I do have a couple of unboxing. I have a stack of boxes. I'll get to like 2 of them. But before I do that, so we're going to look at Milestone real quick, and we'll see if there's any bargains out here. But I'm going to gloss over. I'm skipped over the cast iron stuff because I don't bid on that, and just the regular tin wind-up stuff. So I will check. Bing is Google's still the best search engine. I mean, even if you don't like Google, they are the best. Is there anything Kitahara has that I don't have? Oh yeah, he's got thousands and thousands of toys, but I have like super rare stuff that he doesn't have, and boxes too. So, he started collecting in the 80s, just kind of accumulating anything, and condition wasn't important to them. Like when I say them, the early Japanese collectors. So he's got a lot of stuff that's kind of, Anyway, so let's look at this Milestone stuff. I'll tell you one thing that really stuck out to me. This Fred Ondino. This is probably the cleanest one I've seen. Supposedly works like a top. And it's already at $1,550. That's a lot of money. But look how square this box is usually beat to hell. So it would be sort of cool, but I don't know, it's kind of expensive already. So that's on the maybe pile. And that's a tough toy to display. It takes up so much damn room. So, and by the way, Al, if you haven't bid on the Bear Magician and you're interested, you need to register either whether you go through Live Auctioneers or Milestone Direct. So keep that in mind. Some of these Popeye toys are pretty cool. You got the skater here. It shows you the high bid and what your next bid would be. You got a jigger. Nothing crazy. Yeah, the Mickey stuff. So this toy here, I pay like way, way more for this toy at the Monique Knowlton collection. So, I mean, hell, if it stays this cheap, I might just buy it again because why not? I mean, hell, this is a really cool, rare wind-up Mickey Magician. I love the Magician toys, though. And this is dirt cheap for what this toy is. Even though it's $1,000, you might be thinking, well, that's expensive. It is expensive, but it's cheap relative to what they've gone for in the past. Really cheap. Even this Mickey Magician here is, now there's no box, but he's in pretty good shape. $375 is a steal for this too. You can probably get a reproduction box for him pretty good. Drummond, this stuff's saying, yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of Disney toys. I have basically the Magician and a couple of the 1920s Disney stuff, just because I'm in Florida. And Disney's kind of a crappy company now, so I don't want to really load up on Disney Anna. So they have a lot of Disney stuff here. But that's my personal bias against them right now. The Chine stuff, I think it's kind of cool, but again, I don't. If I had the room, I'd probably collect more of it. The only Chine thing I have, and I don't display it, is the Rocket Ride with the graphic box, which they don't have here. This is a really cool toy, but the box is. This is the Twirly Whirly Rocket Ride. I think they have also the Coney Island Rocket Ride. That's a nasty tear right there. Oh, you can't even see it here. Let me see if I can. See right here, this nasty tear in the litho. No bueno, as my wife would say, but you know, it's pretty cool nonetheless. And what else do they have here? This weird Nutty Nibs that looks like somebody painted the eyes. I've never seen it like that. That is the weirdest Nutty Nibs I've ever seen. So that, you know, maybe the box is an upgrade or something, but yeah, that's cheap. But I don't know. Maybe you can color it in or just repaint it. I don't know what the hell happened to that. What's the description say on this thing? It works when it comes with a reproduction box. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just bizarre to me. Maybe that's a weird variation. Now, I don't know if I have Trixie the dog. I have a lot of the Magician, even the wind-up. So if I don't have that, I'd probably bid on Trixie myself. I have the Fishing Bears Bank. I have Nando. I don't have the original ball, though. This has the original ball, but you can see the rubber. Let me go down, up here. Whoop, no, I can't show it. I'll have to do it this way. See the ball here? The rubber on this is always messed up, but it has the original casing at least, which I don't have on mine. And this face decal isn't bad. This face decal is usually worn out, so this is really a good deal right now. I might have to like suck it up and get a second Nando. Yeah, the Bear Savings Bank is good, but I think they have one in the box. This car is really cool here. It's kind of spacey. Goes under the radar. It has a rocket. It has a Saturn. It's a nice shape. That's a cool piece. The clown on the rocket's also kind of cool, just because it's a rocket. I don't have it, but it's not. I think that's a German toy. Well, he's got the Gang of Four as we go down. I like I know a lot of people bid on this, the Easelback Robot. It's the rarest in the series. It's also the coolest looking one. It's a great toy. I have this in the box. I have an extra one too. I mean, I'd love to get 3 and then just have them all like a little army, a little standing army of robots. Here's your freaking Targets already up to 24,500. This is a cool, I remember seeing this in Kitahara's. This is up to 3,300. So now they're getting a little pricier. This is a steal for $1,000. The Space Patrol car, extremely rare. You never see this toy. If this toy goes for under 3, I'd be shocked. Radicon doesn't even have a bid, so if you can get it for the opening bid, you would be absolutely stealing it. These are all, looks like the original box. Oh, that's cool. You have my boxes. Yeah, I probably made them shiny. 3,000 for a Sonic in the box. I mean, the Sonic in the box at Smith House, they sold one for 33,000 once. So that's a steal and a half. Lavender with the original box, that's a steal. I mean, the box is worth more than more than that. A Missile Man, is this the original box or? Reproduction box, but this is that's a cool toy. Very rare. I think in the original box it's 7 to 10,000. Look at this Batman. It's up to 10,500 big ones. Holy moly. That's a lot. That is a lot of money. You got a Superman tank for $12.50. That's not bad. You got a Robert Johnson prototype Batman. You got Baragon and G-Ras from monsters from Ultraman. Let's see what else here. But anyway, the point is that they got a lot of cool stuff at this auction. Gold Sparky Robot No Bids. That's a cool toy. Some nice rockets here. I figured rather than do the eBay thing, just showing you what's available here. Some cool character stuff. Cheap so far. Look at this, a Magma Ambassador, $3,100 for this fire truck. This box is really torn to crap, though. Yeah, I don't know, man. That is a off topic, but did I ever find? No, I got paperwork from the auction house that I forgot I had, and they said that it was from like the 30s or 40s, but no paper trail. The only thing I know is that, like, you know, the Robot Hut was actually there, and they saw the piece, and the guy didn't want to divulge where he got it. Who the hell knows if the original guy just pilfered it from some abandoned arcade or something? We think that it's possibly something that was at like a World's Fair or something like that. Al, I'm getting to the Bear Magician. But I tell you one thing, the motor we know is from like 1935, so that thing is old. It is old. And the metalwork is really cool, the aluminum body. You guys have to come here and see this thing. So here's very rare Tetsujin #1. The box looks like it just split, but it's all there, that's a cool piece. Very rare box, Tetsujin #1 original. They reproduced the Tetsujin #4, the Tetsujin train, and Tetsujin aircraft carrier. I have this in the box. This is missing the guy that, like, well, the Tetsujin, the Gigantor that sits on top of it. Sits on top and spins around, the Gigantor. I'm going to have to make videos of there. This is extremely rare, the 8-man robot. Extremely rare. I mean, these things, I remember these selling for 10 to 15,000, so this is an absolute bargain and a half. I can't imagine that it'll stay that cheap, though. If it does, somebody's going to get an absolute steal. A Super Cycle for an opening bid of 1,000 would be a steal. The Red Spaceman here for $750 would be an absolute steal. This version of the Radar Robot for $775 would be a steal. The Blue Spaceman for $500 is a steal. This thing looks like dead mint. Look at it. Holy moly. Yeah, that's a nice piece. These biplanes are really, really rare. And again, this would be an absolute steal too. I mean, I'm not looking at the condition and scrutinizing it, but, you know, just on the surface. That's a pre-war toy. That's probably close to 100 years old. All right, here we go. Bears. Here's the Fishing Bear Bank in the box. That's a great piece. I have it, so $290 would be like, and I don't know, is this box original? I guess so. That's a nice box. But that box might be nicer than mine. I'm gonna have to go look at my box. If it's not if my box is crappier, I'll have to bid on this just to upgrade my box. Sorry if anyone wanted that toy. The Cine Bear. This is a great toy too. I would buy that. I have it though, mint in the box. It shoots little blood worms out of the camera. Door Robot's cool. I used to have Sammy Wong, the teetotaler. I don't have him anymore. I may have to. This condition looks. Oh yeah, he's. Woo! I don't know. I have to get a little cleaner Wong. I have to go with those old. What are those old commercials for that laundry detergent? And they'd say, "How do you get your clothes so clean?" And they'd say, "Ancient Chinese secret." Now they're like, "That's racist." Here's a Cutie Cook. Those are pretty rare. The elephant one is pretty rare. Maybe I'll have to go into the Cutie Cook. But I like my battery toys in the box. Ooh, the Organ Grinder, another rare toy. $425. That's a steal. Calagon, yeah. Calagon. What was the guy's name? Mr. So-and-so there at the dry cleaner. How do you get your toys so clean? Ancient Chinese secret. They have those commercials on YouTube. They can't be that racist. Here it is, Al Schlesinger, Bear Magician. I feel like every time I see this for you, I feel like singing, look for the bare necessities, simple bareness. Is that how the song went? Bare necessities? Wow, that's actually a nice shape. That is a nice shape. Look at that. No rust. Damn, that is a steal. Original clothing. Look, that red felt jacket looks awesome. Al, you should go for it. If you're not gonna go for it, I might go for it myself. Hell, I mean, you get that thing under 1,000, you stole it. Here's a complete jet plane base for opening bid of 400. That would be a steal. And what else? Last but not least, last page. I like to. I have this. I don't know. I've never found one dead mint. I still don't think. Even this one's not super dead mint. I don't know. I have a hard time finding that Craxton Great Astronaut. And they got these giant Sears Bandai toys. Look at these opening bids or steals on these. These toys are enormous. Enormous. $500, you're stealing them. Porthole robot with no bid, with the sand remote. Look at that. All right, you got a little schmutz there, but in the original box, that's like a desirable astronaut. And a great box, too. Tremendous Mike, Jupiter robot. Man, you got everything a robot collector could possibly want. A Rocket Man, a Moon Explorer, High Bounce Moon Scout, Smoking Spaceman, the Space VW. Look at all this stuff. Nice stuff here. Nice stuff. So my advice is check out Milestone. Better than eBay. That wraps up the shopping tip of the day. So I'm going to conclude the stream with 2 unwrappings just because I went way over. Overtime, OT, where I'm like a football game or something. Just take a drink. My voice is even fading. I'm left the Robot Huts on this stream. And I'm taking the 2 small boxes. Plus, I got to beat it out of here. They have a freaking nor'easter today, if you could believe it. I have these cushions. We're on the water. And my balcony has like these chairs, these resin chairs, so that like the salt doesn't bother them. But I always take the cushions out because it's always humid and stuff. Anyway, when the movie crew was here, they wanted to film some stuff with me sitting on these chairs. So I threw the cushions on there. And I forgot that I put them on there because I always keep them off. But anyway, long story short, it's been freaking muggy. The reason I always keep them off because it's been muggy and wet and damp. And even though they're the sunbrella material, they can still get like nasty, kind of moldy-ish. So it's been like 3 days of either wet, humid rain, and now we got a nor'easter. So sucks. But anyway, unboxing number 1. What the hell is this thing? Is small. I like it. It's easy to get to. Remember this, you guys are you see my preview stuff before I make the videos. Unfortunately, whatever this is, it doesn't have the box. Boo-hoo for me. Not bad. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. And today we have, let me expand this. Dun, 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 dun. We have an Astro Boy Trike. Look at that. Astro Boy Trike with his bell. Spacey bell. Let's see if we could focus that a little better. I think Franconia made these trikes. He looks like he's like almost like celluloid. Hard to get it focused on here, but look at the litho on the bell part. That is so cool. It looks like they put rouge on his face. Oh, gotta straighten this out here. So that is the first unboxing. It's a cool, spacey Astro Boy. Why he needs a tricycle, who the hell knows? He can fly on his own, on his own power. What does he need this tricycle for? I have no idea. Hopefully it works, because that'll be a video I make at some point. So that's unboxing number 1. Toss this. Ready to go to the garbage heap. You know, when I pulled into the building, right, like, there's this Toyota Tacoma blocking where the dumpster is. So they're pulled up in front of the dumpster. And we couldn't even, like, turn the corner. I'm like, who the hell would, like, park? Because it looks almost like a parking spot, but it's not. So then I see, like, these 2 women, and they're, like, dumping garbage. And it didn't dawn on me initially that, like, what the hell are you doing? Oh, wait, what happened here? I'm like, what the hell are you doing in front of my dumpster, man? Oh, let me get, what happened to my, let's see. Let me just adjust this way. There we go. There we go. That's better. Anyway, so I went over and I said, do you work here? Because I'm like, are you filling up my dumpster? This is my dumpster. Don't mess with my dumpster. And they're like, oh, yeah, we work for the doctor. I'm like, what doctor? I mean, I do have a couple of doctors here. Yeah, exactly. And they, like, said the name of one of the doctors that works here. And I was like, what? So you work for the doctor, but you're in your pickup truck dumping a bunch of shit in my dumpster? Are you sure about that? And then they kind of, like, took off, and they were probably wondering, who the hell are me? Who the hell is this guy? And then I picked up, actually, because it's so windy, I picked up some stuff and went to the dumpster and looked, and I was like, man, they put a lot of shit. And it happens, you know, like, they dump the dumpster here, like the garbage company comes Tuesdays and Thursdays. And once in a while, you know, because we border a residential community, I'll come and I'll see the dumpster full. And I know people come. There's nothing you can do, even though I have cameras. Well, you can't, because, like, I would put a Florida woman. I have cameras on here, but, you know, unless you see it or know it, I'm not going to review dozens of hours. But yeah, that's what they do. They come and they dump their crap. And anyway, I was waiting for them to give me some shit and say, like, who are you? And say, this is my building. You know, who the hell are you? Now I'm going to actually ask the tenant in here, the doctor, and say, even if they work for you, they can't be dumping their crap in my dumpster, because then it gets filled and nobody else could use it. You know, it was Florida women, plural. Now, on a positive note, one of my tenants here has an investment company, and I recommended a client to her. You know, based on what he told me, I said, I think she'd be able to help you. So he met with her, and I guess he's going to give her some business, and she was appreciative. So as I heated up this freaking nasty, it wasn't too bad. I shouldn't complain. It was like a chicken burrito, supposedly all natural, because I didn't have any lunch. That was my lunch. So I shouldn't say I didn't have any. That was my lunch. And my son's like, hey, Dad, you got a present. Anyway, so the woman who's a tenant upstairs, she baked me this beautiful, delicious, giant homemade sourdough bread. And she literally drove here at lunch and bought it hot and fresh. And man, am I a sucker for hot bread. If I lived next to a bakery, I'd be like 800 pounds. I love fresh baked goods, cookies, but bread especially. Man, I would eat the living daylights out of fresh hot bread with some butter. And yeah, so it was awesome. I supplemented my burrito with this hot, fresh bread. All right, what the hell do we have here in our final unboxing of the day that you get to preview? Well, these are strange. These are unlike anything that I probably have unboxed before. These are like, now I remember buying these, and I'm is there only one of them? Say what? I thought there was two. Huh. That's strange. Wow, this is pretty bizarre. I bet you're not expecting this. I better go through the garbage and make sure that I didn't throw one out. Oh yeah, there is a second. I'll unbox the second one too, if you guys are up for it. You tell me. So today in the second unboxing we have dun 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 dun. Drum roll, please. Check this out from Captain Ultra. How weird is this? Still in its blister pack. It's one of the monsters from Captain Ultra, 1960s anime, made from Bandai. Man, this thing smells. Woof. And look, it's a freaking wind-up. It's got the wind-up key right there. It's almost telling you, yeah, you can wind it up in the package. And I guess there's like 6 of these figures. Where the hell am I going to put this thing? It's got its blister card punched. I can hang it like that, I guess. That is so cool, though. The figure looks almost a little dirty in there. And look, it's got the copper staples, just like the original boxes. They're all kind of rusted to hell. You can see the rust sort of like staining everything. Now, the figure looks sort of dirty, but that's just because that blister is sort of dirty. But he's probably, like, super clean in there. I wonder, like, who would, you know, take this out of the pack. So I guess the one to get for me would be this Hack Robot. That's what they call him, Hack. I guess Hack and Captain Ultra himself. But how cool is that? If you don't know Captain Ultra, you should look him up. He's really cool. He's got some of the weirdest monsters, too. I mean, they're, like, bizarre. Ugh. So let me open up this last one. I said that was going to be my last, but I think there's another one in here. So we'll see what the other one is. And hopefully we won't be in the middle of a hurricane, you know, by the time I leave here. It's funny they use, like, duct tape on the box. Oh, I could use this to repair the damn electrical cable on my JVC rocket ride that those guys dragged across the floor and screwed up. Ah, there's 2 toys in here. But this one I'll have to save for later. I'll just do the other one. What is the other blister pack toy? How rare is that, like this blister pack toy? Now you think I see some crazy prices for the Star Wars action figures, those blister toys. I mean crazy, like the prototype Boba Fett sold for 200 something thousand, I think. Crazy amount for without the pack. I guess Star Wars is more popular than Captain Ultra, but still, I mean, hell. All right. Okay. Nelly. The cameraman kept saying, "Pull your hat up. We can't see you. Pull your hat up. We can't see your eyes." I'm like, well, if I wanted them to see my eyes, I wouldn't put a hat on in the first place. Did you ever think of that? Oh, wow. This one's actually a little nicer. And for the second blister carded monster, we have... Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Damn, he looks like Barney the dinosaur. So it's this alligator figure here. Now, I really would have liked to have gotten this guy that looks like a freaking squash mushroom or something. Now I'm going to be obsessing over completing the set of 6, because I know how I am as a completionist. But these are cool. These are probably like the early original vinyls. Let me shrink this back down to a manageable size. Let's see here. There we go. Anyway, so that is your 1960s Ultraman in the blister packs. 2 of them. What the hell I'm going to do with them, I have absolutely no idea. I guess I can stick them in the sun to get the browning on, but then I would fade the figures. Are you talking about these? This one's actually white. If I hold them side by side, I'll make this bigger one last time here. Bum, 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 bum. There. So this one is a little jankier, but this one here is like much wider, squarer. I've never even seen these for sale, so I have no idea how to determine value on this. And if I remember what I paid, it would be one thing, but I have no idea. I'm sure, like, no, they were way more than 200. What? I can't tell you because I don't know. I'll find out on the next live stream. I will tell you what the hell I paid for these things. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's live stream, my friends. Thank you very much for joining me. I don't want to ramble on too much longer because my voice is cracking, and I'm going to beat it out of here early. Oh, the brown plastic on the... yeah, I suppose. But I'd have to open it up and take the figure out. But anyway, that's it for today, and I appreciate you guys joining me. It's always good. And then, spread the word. Eventually, I wish... Painter, I'm sorry you caught me at the tail end. But you know what? You can replay this later on or even after I sign off. So this month was crazy between all that was going on. And thanks, Al. I appreciate that. And then June's going to be even crazier, like between then going away for a little bit. So once that's all done, I do, plan to try to do these on a more regular basis. And then hopefully we'll be able to get more people involved. So with that, thank you very much for joining me. And for those that like the toys, don't forget Milestone tomorrow. Al, I want to hear about your Bear Magician tomorrow. So good luck with it. You're lucky I have one, or else I'd be going for it. So anyway, thanks again. Enjoy the weekend, everybody, and I'll talk to you later.